Fake news? Hold on. Let's read it. Bungie teases Gambit and PvP-focused seasonal content for upcoming Destiny 2 showcase. So from Zahad here, we're gonna read this article. Some of you are already saying it's fake. I highly doubt that. I don't think this guy would just be writing a fake article. Although I will say, it looks a tad bit sus. The fact that we could potentially be getting a Crucible and Gambit update. So let me just see. Bungie teases Gambit and PvP-focused seasonal content for upcoming Destiny 2 showcase. The Destiny 2 developer has hinted at some exciting PvP and Gambit-related announcements for the fans during the upcoming showcase event. Destiny 2 players have long voiced their concerns about the lack of attention given to Gambit and Crucible compared to the PvE side of the game. Many felt that these modes are being neglected, which led to the dwindling interest in these modes in the community. What do we even call Gambit at this point? Do we say it's been neglected? Like I would say Crucible, you could say Crucible's been neglected. But when was the last time we truly got an update to Gambit? Look, I'm not trying to sound dramatic right now. I'm just saying neglected, yes, for Crucible. Gambit, abandoned. I mean, truly forgotten. Every now and then when I see like Bungie make a sandbox change and it's something related to Gambit, I'm like, what? Bungie remembers Gambit exists? However, Bungie has recently responded to some of the questions regarding the future of Destiny 2's PvP and Gambit, hinting at some exciting announcements for these two neglected aspects of the game at the upcoming Destiny 2 showcase. In a recent episode of the Last Word podcast, Travis Northup, one of the hosts of the show and a writer at IGN, revealed that he was invited to participate in a roundtable interview session with Destiny 2 developers. All right, so Travis there. During the interview, Bungie was asked about their plans to revamp the seasonal model and whether they would introduce more PvP and Gambit-focused activities to breathe new life into these game modes. Question from Travis Northup, quote, "Some parts of the game rarely get any love these days, namely Gambit and Crucible. Since you've announced your plan on switching up the way seasons work, is the team considering PvP-focused seasonal activities as a way to spice things up? How about Gambit?" In response, Bungie stated, "We don't have anything to announce today, but we're going to have a whole lot of more information on the seasonal model as it relates to Gambit and PvP-focused content at the Destiny 2 showcase in August." You can watch the full episode of the Last Word podcast below. Now, Destiny 2's latest season, Season of the Deep, already features a new seasonal vendor upgrade system called Seasonal Bonuses, which is somewhat different from the typical grid upgrade we've seen in previous seasons. Bungie has confirmed that Season 22 will also have the same system. So, I need to ask you guys on that. Do you like the way the upgrade system is now? The seasonal upgrades? Are y'all a fan? In comparison to the grid system that we had, are you a bigger fan of the system that we have now? Better than before, way better, kind of, yes. Okay, so the main differences between the two, guys, the two systems, is the lockout is not as long. It's not dragged out. I think to unlock the grid system, it was like a 4-week, over a 4-week period that you would go through and have to do all these unlocks. I think with the system now, you get it done 2 weeks. You still have lockout, like somewhere around 2 weeks if you're looking to get like everything right. So it is better in that aspect. But I'm just curious to know like how you guys feel about it. Do you like the system more? Personally, I like the way the grid system looked aesthetically. Like I liked going there to the vendor and like unlocking the grids. Like that was fine to me. It was just the lockout where you were like, all right, you only got these 2 upgrades this week, these 2 upgrades next week, another 2. You know what I mean? Same system, just looks a bit different. I don't know. My brain just liked the grid system more, guys. I don't know. It was nice to comprehend it in that way. I'm not saying it's the best. Look, I'm just saying that it was just easy to digest viewing it from the grid system in comparison to now. In my opinion, I like that I can unlock things faster, but I like the aesthetic of the grid system from before. Now, we are closing in on the Destiny 2 Showcase event, which takes place on August 22nd, 2023 at 9 a.m. Pacific. We will be live as well. This might be the most important showcase event in Destiny's 9 years. Listen, everyone says we say the same thing every year. We're like, this is the one. This is it. Bungie, Destiny will die if this one doesn't pop. But the reality is, guys, in my opinion, this is the most important showcase ever. You have so many games that are popping off and doing well, and you've got so many people that are actually playing those games. Destiny just, it's got staying power for sure, but it has to still deliver. You know, it doesn't have the luxury that I think it had before where the competition just wasn't that good out there. I won't buy it unless the showcase is good. Lightfall turned me right off. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way, man. Now, given the current tension within the Destiny 2 community, it's crucial for Bungie to make some big announcements during this upcoming showcase to address the concerns and set player expectations, not only for the remainder of the Light and Darkness saga, but also for the years ahead. What are you hoping to see at the Destiny 2 showcase later this month? Let us know in the comments below. That's a good question. What are we hoping to see? I need to really just sit back and, you know, the showcase, nothing we say what we want to see is going to be able to be changed from now until then in time to include that. I'm hoping to see more microtransactions. I want to see new Gambit modes and events. I want to see Bungie make an investment into Destiny that is being made out of goodwill and not out of what is the ROI on this. They say things like making maps for PvP is expensive. You know, here's the thing. It's like, all right, it's expensive. And I know that PvP is quote unquote free to play, but the goodwill that you create from that flows elsewhere. You just don't see the direct return on investment for that. And then the other side of things is, you know, I don't know if a new Gambit mode is going to save Gambit or not. I don't know how many people are like sitting there just like, I want Gambit stuff now. For me, I just want Bungie to make content that is going to stay in the game. They're making it as if it's going to stay in the game, and they're going to take a more MMO approach to Destiny, because that's the road ahead for Destiny, especially beyond the Light and Darkness saga. There needs to be an air of mystery. Someone just mentioned it just now. I miss secrets in Destiny. It's hard having secrets in Destiny when you've got data miners, though. I will say that. It's hard as hell having secrets. Bungie needs to take an MMO approach. And we had a video a while back going over all the MMO things. And they're getting there on some aspects. I mean, we're getting LFG at the end of this year in game finally. We got loadouts in game where we can save. That's a huge change. We took it a step further and we asked for things like player-owned housing, clan-owned housing, clan halls. I know this is going to sound wild. And a lot of people are going to be like reuse assets if Bungie showed us this in it. But at the same time, dude, just something as simple as getting the tribute hall back, I would freaking love that. And getting it back for it to stay in the game. I want something where I can adorn the walls with my trophies around the game. The monsters we've slayed. Something to constantly be building. Something physical and tangible. Why did the tribute hall leave? I don't really know why it left. I think they took it away when they took the Leviathan away, but the Leviathan came back, but the tribute hall didn't. So no, I'm going to have to really sit down and kind of just contemplate like what I would want to see out of this showcase. And again, everyone's like concerned about beyond Final Shape. Everyone's like, I'm concerned about where do we go after the Light and Darkness saga? Guys, I'm more concerned about just finishing the Light and Darkness saga. I'm more concerned about Final Shape sealing the deal, because the way Lightfall went, I just don't have a lot of confidence in the narrative. So I'm not even thinking about the years beyond. You know, people are saying we're going to start fighting Vex. Final Shape is what's concerning me the most. All right, give it to me right now, guys. Give me worst case scenario. Before we get to the best case, give me worst case scenario, August the 22nd. Go. Worst case scenario, Leviathan Raid comes back. They bring Cade back and kill him again. Lightfall 2.0. They reintroduce sunsetting. Final Shape is delayed. I don't know if that's the worst case scenario, but I get it. Yeah. Bungie announces that the Final Shape is in fact the end. Oh, man. It will never happen, but what if Bungie just came on there and was like, hey, listen, we're tired of making Destiny, tired of the complaining. So Final Shape is it. We're done. That's all we're doing. No more Destiny. All right. Best case scenario. So we've got some worst case scenarios out there. Best case scenario, Bungie comes out, really shows us how they're going to be doubling down in creating this MMO experience for us going forward. Other best case scenario, they reintroduce their monetization. Now I know everyone says cross, that'll never happen, but I am still a firm believer that if you buy the annual pass and the annual expansion, that A, things like event cards, you should never have to purchase. B, there should be a substantial amount of discounts on all Eververse items if you bought the annual pass. That's not even best case scenario. I think that all items should just be earnable in the game if you buy everything, but everyone says that's never going to happen. All right, fine. There should still be a massive discount on that front. Things like dungeons will be re-included into the season pass again and whatnot. That's on the monetization side of things. Best case scenario, Wrath of the Machine is actually going to be the raid we're going to get next season, and not Leviathan, and not Crota's Inn. Actually, I would still take Crota's Inn over Leviathan. Guys, I'm just not excited about Leviathan raid. I really hope we get Wrath. Everyone's saying it's not going to be Wrath. I hope the new subclass is going to pop, which I don't really think that it's not. You know, Bungie, I think it's going to roll out even stronger than Strand. You know, they want it to be a tad bit hotter. I think the new subclass is going to look really, really dope. Now, let me say this. Last worst case scenario. If there is no new subclass, damn. Listen, we already put out a video going over the leaks. We do think there is a new subclass. We do think that Bungie intentionally leaked it. However, Bungie has never done back-to-back new subclasses a year apart. It's never happened. There is always a year in between. So this would be a first time. And I would love it if that's actually the case. But if they roll out Final Shape without a new subclass, that's going to be rough. For real though, if they release Leviathan back to us, that would be an absolute failure. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of giving us a raid that was already in the game, taking it out and then putting it back. It just doesn't feel right. You can sell me on Destiny 1 raids coming back in the game because there's a lot of Destiny 2 players that never played D1. And on top of that, a lot of us didn't get to experience those raids at 60 frames per second. So I'm really excited to play Destiny 1 raids within Destiny 2's framework. But to just give me back a raid that was already in the game. I know there's like some people are like, oh, but Cross, we get Midnight Coup. Listen, Midnight Coup was a 150. It'll come back as a 140. Calm down. I just want to experience human connection. Yeah, it's hard to really gauge whether or not Bungie's going to be able to sell us on that for Final Shape, right? Because you only get small snips in the Vidoc and whatnot. And of course, you know, the devs can sit there and think about the wording leading up to Lightfall. You know what I mean? It was being sold to us as like the best narrative experience we will ever have. And it didn't deliver. I didn't feel the emotion that Bungie really wanted us to feel. And I don't think the showcase is really going to say, hey, don't worry. Unless they just come out and be like, listen, we messed up on Lightfall. We didn't give you the narrative that you deserved with that expansion. We're doubling down. Final Shape is going to deliver. But I don't think they're going to say that. I actually feel like they're going to roll out. They're going to just roll with the hype, just talk about what's going to happen and not necessarily dwell on what didn't happen. I got to give it to Blizzard and Diablo here recently, which you guys, I mean, I saw Reddit and Twitter. Y'all were lighting them up, dude. It's like, dude, the one dev there for Diablo, he looked like he hadn't slept that whole week. But they were literally like, we will never do a sandbox change like this ever again. This will never happen again. We'll see if they hold that. Anyways, back to the article though, guys. We'll link this article in the video cut. Are we going to see updates to Gambit and Crucible? And then what kind of updates we're going to get to it? I have no idea. They say they're going to do it. I've been told that maps were just out of the question. Maps for Gambit and maps for Crucible out of the question. As if that investment was just astronomically high and there's just no way they could do that. But that's just step one. Just giving us a new locations to play at on either one of those maps. That's just step one, man. So we'll have to see what happens there. And there's a lot that the showcase on August the 22nd is going to have to show for both Final Shape and the immediate future. The hype right now, again, I don't care about 3-4 years down the road. I don't care what happens after the Light and Darkness saga. The showcase is going to have to sell us on the here and now, and then Final Shape.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.